Just over a year ago, I switched from Garmin to Coros and I was using the Coros Pace 3. Just last week, Coros released the Coros Pace 4. Now I've been testing this over the last week and a half, and this is why you should be moving to Coros. Now, I'm going to explain to you everything that Coros have done with their latest watch, the Coros Pace 4. But before we do that, I want to explain to you exactly why I think Coros is the best running watch out there. Now let's start with the value and the price. Here in the UK, the Coros Pace 4 retails at £229. Now in terms of its weight as well, it's incredibly lightweight, and in the nylon band version, it's just 32 grams, which is pretty much, well, you can't even notice it when you're running. It's really light. For me, most importantly, I think about battery life, but I also think about its performance in terms of things like GPS and the screens that you can use whilst you're running. In high GPS mode, there is now 41 hours worth of exercise time available to you. Now, if I compare that to previous watches, I was doing 1, maybe 2 runs and having to charge that up. 41 hours for me is an awful lot. And for someone that's doing a fair amount of running, probably 9 to 10 hours a week, it's just perfect for me. You don't have to think about charging your watch up. Now, one of the big changes they've made is they've introduced something called an AMOLED screen. I don't exactly know what it is, but I do know it's 164% brighter than the previous model, which was pretty bright already. So to make an increase of that amount is really quite promising. And I've tested this in all conditions, and in the sunshine, it really is clear to see. Now, I moved initially from a Garmin 265 Music. At the time, I absolutely loved this watch, although the issues that I did find with the Garmin was I was charging every other day, if not every single day, and it did start to slow down in the end. Now, having tested the Pace 3 out for over a year, none of those things were applicable. The battery life was a joke. It lasted over a week, and in terms of the screen, it was so clean and so easy to understand. I also really like the actual physical layout of the watch. It's really simple. There was only one button and a scroller, which kept things really minimalistic, but really just made you focus on the running itself. Now, increased battery life and an improved screen are, in my opinion, the two most important aspects, but Coros have also added something that is quite special, and they've now added a voice note system, so you can record voice notes straight after a workout, and this can be uploaded straight into the Coros app. And if you're connected with a coach, then your coach can hear your voice notes straight after your workout. And it's a really nice way to be able to connect and give direct feedback straight after a session. I've got a link, and there is also a code for a free spare band, which comes in quite handy if you want to freshen things up. You need to make sure you add the band separately to your order, and then the band will become free when you type my code MAX600. I'll leave all the details in the link down below. Also, as a quick disclaimer, Coros have sent me this watch to review. They've said I can review it as freely as I like, and I'm not being paid by them to say what they want me to. This is an honest review, but of course I am being sent this watch, so take that as you will. Now, there's gonna be a lot of reviews out there from people that are much better at reviewing tech than I am, and they'll be able to tell you every single little bit about this watch and all the things it can do, but I'm gonna share with you what I do as a runner and everything that this watch does for me that I use in my daily life as well. Now, the first thing it does is the notifications, your pop-up notifications that you get on all other smartwatches, things like your Instagram or your text messages, your phone calls. It does all of that. Now, I don't actually turn that on because I like to keep my watch just for running, and I don't really like having notifications, but there is that option for you if you want it. There is, of course, things like a stopwatch, a timer, and an alarm clock. The sleep data is really cool. It covers the amount of sleep you get every evening. It shows when you're awake during the night, your HRV, the number of hours sleep you get. It shows you deep sleep, REM sleep, light sleep. It does everything that you really need to. Then we move on to the Coros Training Hub, and this is the companion app that you use on your smartphone, and it gives you so much detail about your training. Again, I'm not going to dive into it because there are so many videos out there explaining about it, but it shows you your current level of training fitness. It talks about what your predicted race times are, and they are some of the most accurate race predictors that I've ever used. The layout of this app is so clean and so easy to see. how much mileage you've done in the week, a workout you did at a certain day during the year. It is absolutely amazing. And I've used the Garmin app before, and the Garmin app's okay, but this honestly is on yet another level. Now, it would be remiss of me to not include a few negatives. One of the things I do think that Coros may need to look at is the button lat press, which is the bottom right hand button on the watch. Now, on the Pace 3 model, it protrudes from the watch just a little bit further than what it does on the newer Pace 4 model. Now, the issue I've found with this is when I'm in a workout and I've got sweaty hands, it's not quite as clean and easy to be able to click that lat button at the end of a rep. And of course, there is the issue that you can't get streaming services downloaded straight onto the Pace 4. So you have to do it the old school way and download the music from a computer and use an MP3 file. So maybe in the future, Coros will look at that, and that's something that can be explored for the next model. But on the whole though, to summarize this watch from a runner's point of view, and again, I'm a runner, I'm not an expert in reviewing technology. This watch has changed the way that I train, changed the way that I assess my running, and it helps me in all other aspects of life, like my sleep and recovery. At such a cheap and affordable price, this is a no-brainer. The battery life is ridiculous. I charge this watch up every 10 days or so. The screen's amazing, it's also touchscreen as well, and at a price that won't completely take your wallet apart. I think this is genuinely a must-have for any keen runner. That's all from me today, guys. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.